What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So this is known as Ventoy, and basically you can consider this a video on how to get into Nobara. And why we're doing that distro is because everything works out of the box, and I know not everybody wants to immediately jump into Linux and have to tinker and mess around. So we're going to open up a new tab and we're going to hit download. You can find this in the description below, along with a ton of other guides, by the way. Oh, it's the live CD. I don't want the live CD. I want the files. Downloads. It's not a... I clicked the live CD, didn't I? I must have. See, even I mess up. So you don't have to. See this? We're going to be grabbing this. I don't know why it pushes us towards that other thing. It's pretty cool they have a live CD though. And is there anything in here? No. We're going to extract. Then we're going to open this up. And at this point, you need to make sure that you have your drive installed. Okay? Very, very important that you have your this installed. Yeah, I called it small dick because it was funny. But in all truthfulness, we're going to be running this one right here. Okay? And we're going to run this. It's going to open up the application. We're going to select the USB drive. And I'm going to go here and set this to GPT. I'm going to turn secure boot off. And we're going to hit install. It's basically going to wipe everything on that drive. Now, the reason why I'm using this, okay, to begin with, is because it allows you to just drag over the USB drive and it just works, okay? Now, normally it would pop up on the side, but for some reason it didn't. So I'm going to unplug it and we're going to plug it back in. There it is. So as you can see, it's empty. So I'm going to head to my documents. And as you can see, I have a Nobara ISO for version 39. You're basically going to drag this and drop it here. I'll leave a link in the description below on how to download this distro for you, okay? In case you don't know what it is, it basically has an optimized kernel, a ton of patches to get many different types of hardware to work. It's got an automatic NVIDIA installer, so it's got, it has everything you're going to need and want to get NVIDIA to work. It's also got an AMD ISO, it's got a KDE ISO, it's got everything. It's even got a Steam Deck version, which actually is really cool. Now, this isn't my fast USB drive, this is my slow one, but I'm just using this as an example on how to make a USB drive to be able to actually boot things up and get them working. This next part, I'm going to have to record with my camera, but I'm not using this drive. I don't like how slow it is, and I know 68 megabytes for USB is fast for some people, but the one that I have reads and writes at over a gig a second. So I'd rather use that one, if you know what I mean. Just saying. So I'm going to pop this one out now that it's done. And I'm going to pop my actual drive in. Because as I said, I don't like slow USB drives. If I did, I would be using the first generation of USB drive, which is horribly slow, by the way. So there we go. We have everything in here that we need. I have a ton of ISOs, in fact, but this is the one we're going to be focusing on. So let's shut everything down and let's reboot. Reboot! Yeah, I watched Reboot as a kid. Awesome show. Got me into computers. Weird, huh? Okay, so we rebooted, and as you can see, we're going to go to our boot menu and select the USB drive. And then Ventoy is going to pop up. I have a ton of ISOs, but we are going to select the one at the bottom, the Nobara 39 Gnome NVIDIA ISO, and we're going to boot in grub mode. And this is going to take a couple seconds to do, of course, but I'm going to run you through it. You can completely ignore this. This is not going to cause you any problems. You just got to wait and it will go away. And now we're booting up into the live environment, which Linux runs on to install things. And we're going to do this so we can see what it's doing, so I can run you through it naturally, so you don't really have any questions. Right now, it's just starting services to get things going. It just did the online services. That way you can get your network running. It started the firewall. and it's doing the Flatpak stuff because Nobara comes with Flatpaks, so it's going to start that service in case you want to use those during the live installer. And what we're waiting for is the NVIDIA driver to start building, because it has to build what is called Akmods. Now, Akmods allows kernel modules to build, which allows the kernel, the driver itself to load up in the live environment and just work in a nutshell. And the best part is this takes quite a while. So please have some patience when doing this, because this all depends on how many cores and threads you have, because it does build on your CPU is what I found. You can see that it's building right there right now. Add akmods.service. And once this is finished, we will immediately boot into the live environment. I had to re-record the audio for this because, well, AAC hates Linux, even in a studio thing like this, but I'll figure it out with plugins later. And again, I'm going to sit here this whole time with you until it starts, so you don't have to worry. And bammo, the NVIDIA driver started, and it now moved to this other monitor, which then boots into the desktop environment, which then means I can see you on the desktop here in just a second. So again, patience is key when dealing with Nobara and compiling Akmods. And on to the installer. So let's get the installation done and over with, because a lot of people get confused by this. So we hit next, next, next. You can see we're going to come to a window where we have to choose our drive. I'm going to be choosing this 500 gig, and you can see there's an install alongside option, which is essentially going to shrink some things. So we select the partition, it's going to shrink it, and it's going to add to it. This is what you want to do if you're on Windows and you want to dual boot. Okay, and you can drag this, make it bigger or smaller, and you can choose your sizes. Me, I want to erase the complete disk. I want to get rid of everything. We're going to do sleep with hybrid, or hibernate, in fact. But to show you, I don't want to really show you manual partitioning. See, it's annoying. I want to just make this as easy and as simple for you, because install alongside is going to work a lot better than you manually partitioning something. Because in a way, you are manually partitioning something, but it's giving you just easy access to things. So I'm going to do erase to disk, but I do want to show you if gparted is here, it can't install anything. Rats. All right, we're just going to continue on with this. Going to enter the name, password. Don't log in automatically. And we're going to hit install. And that's it. Basically, it's going to do everything for you from this point on. And once the installer is done, you can restart and Nobara is installed. Okay? And now that the installation is done, we can go and reboot in To Nobara 39, where we will be instantly upgrading to version 40. Okay? Stay tuned. Well, we just finished booting in, believe it or not, and we have to do our very first update. And this matters because, well, we want the newest kernels, drivers, and everything imaginable, because this ISO is a bit old. And unfortunately, it's not like Fedora Everything, where it'll pull down all the newest stuff and update you as you go. I hope that happens in the future, because that would be a great addition to Nobara as a whole. So we're going to hit yes, we're going to hit accept, and this should update us to the newest packages. You're going to, of course, enter your password to make it possible. And I think the screen just froze. There we go. It just unfroze. So it's going to go through a lot of stuff, okay? And the DNF here should hopefully be optimized enough that it will get through it without much of a problem. I can't really be sure until we look a little deeper, but everything seems to be going fairly quick. Yeah, everything seems to be going pretty good. Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely. That's some pretty good speeds right there. But I will be optimizing DNF before we restart, just to make sure I can get the optimal speeds out of this to make updating a lot easier to Nobara 40. And we will be going through a restart on this as well, because, well, we're going to clearly need a restart. And when we get right back, we will finish what we need to do. Okay. So it's grabbing packages. Hit yes to this. Always hit yes to this. This is where people get confused. This is the only updater you should ever run. You never run Discover and you never run Gnome to update packages, the Gnome Software Center. And the reason being is because it could mess up a lot of stuff. Now, I do have a lot of this already installed because I did have to install OBS to be able to record for you, but I don't know. I guess this all depends on your internet speed and what you're doing, but it will grab as much as it needs, as much as possible to make sure you have the best out-of-box experience. Well, possible, you know, because it'd be kind of pointless if it didn't. Now, the one thing that I wish that Glorious Egg Roll would return is Extension Manager. God, I would love to have that back, like to be built in, because that was the best thing ever to have, because you could just jump in and start doing what you need it to do for it to work. Now, this older version of the driver currently has issues with OBS. You can see that a few things are just, well, actually it looks pretty smooth on my end, but it does freeze from time to time, from in my view anyway. Now, it's going to grab the free world drivers and just correct things as it goes. And the reason I tell you to stay away from Discover when updating and Gnome Software Center when updating is because this script, this updater, is designed to fix certain dependency issues and conflicts and other stuff. So without this, honestly, you'd be going through a mess, a hellhole if you were, and I don't want that to happen for you. So trust in the updater, because without it, we will have no peace, only war. Dependency war. And you don't want dependency war. That's like apt hell, or what do you call it? Repo from Ubuntu. I forget what it's called. No, almost had it. See, this is why I don't like having brain damage and having to recover from it, because it's such a simple and easy word to remember. Yeah, well, anyway, it's an Ubuntu repo, and basically if you add enough of them to Ubuntu, it basically breaks your entire system because it doesn't know how to manage a ton of repositories at once, and it's kind of unfortunate. It is what it is, and that doesn't happen on Fedora. That's another reason why I choose Fedora over Ubuntu, Mint, or any of the others, because you don't want that hell to happen. I'm still trying to think of the name and I can't do it. It kind of sucks. But yeah, it's upgrading GPU firmware, drivers, kernel modules, everything you'll need. All right, so we're fully restarted, and the cool part is now we have a janky white square on our side. Is it showing? It doesn't show in, does it show in OBS? It doesn't show in OBS, my God. But there is a little white line here. That is X-Wayland Video Bridge. You can uninstall that and get rid of that. You don't need that if you're using Desktop, okay? You might need it if you're using other things, but not for Desktop. Now, fresh install, fully updated. Where do we go from here? Well, it's simple. We can easily go follow the guide on the Discord if we needed to, and I'm actually going to go log in to Discord because I want to get this installation right, because upgrading to another version of Nobara or Fedora can be a tad difficult and annoying, and sometimes frustrates people. So we want to get it right. But the first thing that I want to do, the first thing before anything else, is I want to go to the terminal. Terminal's scary. Ooh, boogie, boogie, boogie. It's not really. Sudo nano /etc /dnf /dnf. No, I said dnf.conf. And I want to check everything here. Now, here's the problem. Max downloads 6? Am I a heathen? No. And I want to put fastest. I think it's fastest mirror equals true. I'm still working most of this into my memory. So, you gotta forgive me here. Sometimes I have to go to my own Discord. Yeah, fastest mirror equals true. See, I don't trust myself fully yet. And that's a capital T, by the way. True. And anything else needs to be in capitals. No, we are good to go. And what this will do, will choose your fastest mirrors. So upgrading is done. in the terminal. And the reason we do this is to ensure that we get everything right. So I'm going to go to the pinned post, and I'm going to jump straight up here, and we're going to get started. Now, we already did the first part of it, because at the very beginning, you have to run the Nobara sync, and that's what happens. So it makes sure that you're good and upgraded. So we hit enter. It's going to install this plugin. I'm going to mute desktop audio, because, yeah, we don't need that. And as you can see, the fastest mirrors are chosen. Hosts are chosen. Everything seems to be working pretty good. And installing this plugin, it does a system upgrade. So DNF plugin system upgrade. So DNF is your package manager, and the system upgrade is a plugin. So you're installing that plugin to be able to upgrade to the newer version of Fedora 40, Nobara 40. Yep, that's what it's doing. So once everything's done, you can see that it already comes pre-installed, which is very good. And we're going to hit paste on this one. So sudo DNF system upgrade download reverse release version 40. So you're telling your package manager to do a system upgrade and to download the release version for basically all the packages for version 40. And we're agreeing by hitting -Y. Basically, it will do everything for you. It's leave it and do whatever. Okay. Now it's going to again determine the fastest mirrors, because now we're selecting different mirrors for Nobara 40. And as you can see, KD6 overrides, everything is base 40, multi-lib 40, so on and so forth. Now, most people don't know my history behind Nobara. I was pretty much the first YouTuber, I think, to cover it, because I was one of the first people to actually get an ISO before this was officially released, and that was pretty cool for me. And I guess it jump-started my love more for this as a whole. Holy crap, that's downloading quick, and we're multi-downloading things. But I gave suggestions, offers, tested things, did whatever needed to be done, and it got to the point where I grew out of Nobara. I grew out of it because I learned so much from GE and other people around me that I sort of just jumped into making my own thing. And I'm not going to make a distro, not by a long shot. I don't want to do that. But I just put out guides on how to optimize certain parts and get certain things done for yourself. Because honestly, when you learn to make your distro your own, you're learning more about Linux than you ever will by using this. But if you just want to jump into Linux, this is perfect for you. This is beginner friendly, it's fast, it's efficient, it's optimized. Just like CachyOS. Basically, there's two distros that I recommend more than ever. Okay? And I can't recommend PicoOS right now because that's in the middle of a transition to Debian, but Nobara, if you want just an out-of-the-box friendly experience, there you go. You know, the Discord itself can be a bit mean towards NVIDIA users even now, even though the 555 drivers and Wayland stuff fixed it. We had a comment about that on the video that I released yesterday about the bashing on NVIDIA and the reasons I use it. Go watch that if you haven't. And the first comment was basically someone talking about their experience in the Nobara Discord. There are a few bad apples in that Discord. I've come across them. Basically, I can't enjoy anything in there anymore. I say anything, and all of a sudden, you know, you get people piling on you. It's annoying. And I kind of hope that it stops one day. But the moderators don't really do anything about it. They don't ever enforce the rules, and it's sad. They just let people push people around, and I don't know. That's why I'd rather stay to the internal channels, because less, you know, crap happens there. All right, so everything is done. The system upgrade is done. So basically you just reboot your PC and you're good. You can run the sudo. You can run this right here. Okay, if you want to. It's actually a part of it. And I'm going to do that. And I will see you guys on my phone, because I'm going to try to show you the next part of this if I can. The phone parts, I apologize. Computer screens still don't come good across phone screens. It's a thing. All right, so we reboot it, and this is our first boot up. And when we go here, I'm going to zoom in here real quick. Zoom, 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 zoom. And as you can see, we're going to boot from the drive I installed Nobara on. It doesn't say Nobara, it says Fedora, but it's the WDC. and we go up here, you'll notice that it doesn't say 40 yet, but we're going to hit the top one, and it's going to send us into an update. It's going to send us into upgrade screen. For some reason it was gray. It's not supposed to be gray, but it was. But it is what it is, as long as it works and gets us there. And as you can see, it says starting system upgrade. This will take a while. And it does. It took quite a while, actually. But I'm going to run you through it. Again, have some patience. If you hit ESC, you can see more what's going on than just this screen. And that's what I end up doing. It has about 2,864 files to install. It's going to install 138 packages. It's going to downgrade 10 packages. Total size is 3.5 gigs, which really isn't that much considering, I mean, a Windows upgrade deals with about 20,000 files or so. So this is just honestly completely underwhelming. But if you hit ESC, you can go back and then you can just head back in if you want. So you have a choice to choose between the two. It's supposed to show a fancy upgrade screen, but it didn't. Now I'm going to leave this do its thing, and I'll see you guys when the upgrade is finished and we boot in for the first time, which honestly is right now because editing rocks. See, now it says 40 Gnome edition. You can ignore these two other kernels. They are backup kernels. You will want them in case your first one decides to go weird. And well, we're going to boot in for the first time. Isn't that great? Now we need to see if our drivers work. Okay? And to do that, we just have to give it a second because it booted right into the desktop environment. I was quite surprised. It didn't even activate the other two monitors. I run a 3-monitor setup, by the way, on Wayland with NVIDIA, the 555X Wayland 24.1 drivers, and I have no multi-monitor issues. So that's a common question I get asked. And as you can see, the monitors, they work. Now, I'm going to just enter my password. And look, that Gnome, that's Wayland on top. And ignore the chip bag in the back. I eat a lot of snacks because I'm a giant. And alright, so this is the part of the video where I show you around Nobara 40, isn't it? So we're here, and I don't know, let's, I guess, do a fast fetch. Can we even do a fast fetch here? Is it installed? Fast fetch. It's not. Wow, that sucks. So sudo dnf install fast fetch. Remember, neofetch is dead, and we don't need it no more, and it needs to rest in peace. We need to move on. Fast fetch is superior, even though it's a little weird. Are we having issues? There's no way that... Did it install everything? It did not, so we're gonna hit yes, and there we go. So the issues were that the repos need to be updated. Okay, so there's an issue. So we're gonna hit clear, and we're gonna do fast fetch, and we're gonna do Control Shift plus plus plus. And as you can see, everything is there, everything is working, all drives are automatically mounted. This is pretty freaking cool, and not to mention that it's out of the box ridiculously smooth. Now, I have done, I believe, a pull request for this so that NVIDIA could have better performance, so that we can fix sleep and stuff. So all of that should work out of the box. But what are we doing now? Well, here's the thing. I don't like when Gnome is so ugly. Out of the box, sure, it could be usable and efficient, but for right now, it's not my thing. So let's do Flatpak install extension manager. I just misspelled extension. How did I even screw that up so bad? Okay, I need to redo this. There we go. So we're going to select system, and we're going to hit yes. I'm going to hit yes again, and I'm going to hit yes again. So this is going to install a tool called Extension Manager, which we're going to use to pimp out our desktop. And no, we're not going to be compiling anything for this, so you don't have to worry, okay? Now this tool allows you to download Gnome extensions, which by the way, when Gnome updates, they don't break, they go out of date. So I would prefer if you use the proper terminology instead of just looking like you're a dick. Don't look like you're a dick. It's not good. That mushroom head, it doesn't do it these days, okay? Same as mullets are really lame, and that never stopped. Now, I was asked to do these videos in 1080p, but for the love of God, no, because YouTube destroys 1080p videos. I'm not even kidding. So what I can do though, is I can go to display settings and I can go to my monitor and we can knock the scale up to 150%. You get 150% and that's it. Understand? Now I have to reselect the monitor. There we go. 150%. Okay, you weird mobile users. So the first thing we're going to install is user themes. The second thing we're going to install is extensions list. The third thing we're going to install is already installed, which is called app indicator, case status notifier, item support. And then that's it. Now we're going to start searching for the things that we want. Blur my shell completely, overhauls everything, adds nice blur to both here and to the dock. And next I want dash to dock because I am a dock user. If you want a more Windows-like experience, you could try dash to panel. Okay, it literally gives you a freaking taskbar. It's awesome. Next, we're gonna install Impatience because I like faster animations. You don't have to install it if you don't want to. We're gonna install Arc Menu. Great, we're gonna install Just Perfection. I know it seems like I'm installing a lot of things, but it's not really that many. And we got Arc Menu, Dish to Dick, and we need Media. So this is usually everything that I install to get the look that I have. And for once, I'm not gonna forget Weather O'Clock. All right, that should be everything now. So this shows you everything that is currently installed instead of showing you everything that is currently installed, if you know what I mean. The first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna adjust this. And I'm going to turn these two on. Yeah, just like that. Great. And now I'm going to go to Arc Menu because we are on Nobara and we need to make sure that everyone darn well knows it, even though I do this on Fedora as well. And we're also going to put this up to 3. No, 2 should be good. Okay, so it's going to be overriding something we're about to change here in a second. So we're going to go to Dash Dock and I'm going to turn off IntelliHide because I don't want it. And see, now everything's all weird and scrunched. This is your fault. You asked for this. Okay. Move to beginning of the dock. I don't want to see mounted devices. I do want to go here and I want to shrink the dash. And I want to use the built-in dots because the dots that currently come are really weird. Minimize on overview. What does that even mean? I don't know. I'm going to change that to minimize on overview. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to Just Perfection next. We're going to go to Customize. We're going to leave panel size. What I am going to do is I'm going to turn this to 2. And then I'm going to turn this to 0. And I'm going to put the clock on the right side. And I'm going to put the menu position at 20. I have to click it twice. It's really weird. Dash to dock. I'm going to set it to 32 in here. And there we go. And now we need to move on to blur my shell because currently blur my shell is, oh god darn it, we're doing that thing again, aren't we? Okay, so blur my shell was just bugging out, so now we have the menu icon for that. I'm going to go to manage effects, corner. We're going to turn this down to 19, and we're also going to turn the native blur all the way up and the brightness about that much. I hate this background. This background is horrible. Try to remember that. We're definitely going to be changing that when we can. Radius is all the way up. Radius is the term for the amount of blur. So the higher the radius, the more blur you have. And I'm also going to turn this up because I like this a little brighter. All right, so far so good. I know this seems a bit weird to put this in the video, but people have been asking and there's no better way to put this in it than just right now. So sudo dnf install numix icon circle install password. Yes, That installs the theme, the icon theme that I use. And oh god darn it, don't ever drag and drop things while you're messing around, because now we have this problem. We have this problem right here. Go over there, you go over there, you get pinned, you go here, you get pinned, and you go here. And where is fire fail? You go there. Steam is already here. See this? This is pretty cool already, isn't it? Lutris is already here, so it's gonna go there. And Proton Plus is here already, which is really cool. And they got a system monitor and extension manager, all that cool stuff. Now we're gonna head into the interwebs with that frozen ass icon down there. The only way to get rid of it, believe it or not, is to log out and log back in, and that is so annoying. So what we need to do now is I'm going to install my theme. Most people think this is ugly, and I don't know why. I guess most people just don't have eyes that work for them. It is what it is. You're allowed to dislike whatever you want. I'm just messing with you. We're going to do git clone, paste that in there using Control, Shift, and V. That's how you do it. We're going to cd to Whitestar. We're going to do install -L. And that's going to install all the requirements to run this theme. And once it's finished, it will apply the theme to your current Windows. Then we're going to install the Gnome tweak tool in case it's not already installed. Is it already installed? Do we have the Gnome tweak tool? We do. So it's already pre-installed. Great. So we're going to go here. And I'm going to friggin' do this. There we go. It's all stretched to hell now, but it's better than it was. So we have light, we have dark. I'm going to switch both of these to dark, and I'm going to switch this over to circle. See how the icons changed? That freaking icon even changed. Can you believe that? I accidentally just opened up Steam. God damn it. Next, we're going to grab Numix. No, stop it, Steam. Cancel. I am having a bad morning by the looks of it. My soreness and muscle spasms are repaired, so I'm in a little bit better spirits than I was yesterday. So this is Numix folders. What Numix folders allows you to do is change the color of your folders. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was updated 4 months ago, but it still works today. And we're going to extract. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to open in terminal. We're going to do sudo/numix folders. And we're going to switch this to blue, because blue honestly looks better than any other color when it comes to folders. I don't like this boring thing here. Ugh, even when I was in school, I always choose blue folders over brown. I hated the brown color, or whatever the hell color you want to call it. Beige? I don't know. It's all a form of brown. So, appearance has changed. Everything's set up. This is how I usually do what I need to do, and things look the way they need to look, which is cool, minus this whole second icon weirdness. And there is one other change I want to make, but here's the problem. Sometimes when you change this from right... So we're back on the desktop, and yes, it did end up crashing. But yeah, line A, input 1 from audio, gonna crank that up there. And that's it. We're pretty much good to go. All I need to do is head into Discord and grab a good background, because that's what I do best. I collect good backgrounds, and I have people around me that also collect good backgrounds. So, well, that one's fancy. That one makes no friggin' sense at all. And honestly, I find it a bit silly. I had a fixed one here. The last time that is really, no. Here we go. All right, set as desktop background. We're gonna do stretched and done. So, we're on Nobara. Yay, we upgraded to Nobara 40 from 39. NVIDIA drivers are working, everything is functioning, and everything is doing well. If you're new to this distro, I have other videos on it that you can go watch, but pretty much this just comes out of the box working and ready for you, which I guess is super important, you know? And it comes with tools like Proton Plus that allows you to install the newest GE Proton, and it's optimized for gaming, it's optimized for content creation. It just works pretty much, which is what you want out of something like this. I mean, setting this up has been that easy. I didn't overcomplicate anything. I didn't do anything weird with it. I just ran you through how it works. And there's a lot of stuff that it comes with automatically. I mean, there's host remote play, open RGB for your keyboard and mice. You got time shift to make backups. You even got a driver thingy here that shows you your drivers. It downloads a driver database, which they update constantly. It allows you to install different drivers, which is really cool. And it takes forever to load, by the way, because, well, Cosmo did this. So yeah, there we go. So there's the NVIDIA driver. There's the Xzone driver for the Xbox controller, which I don't think I need, but if you wanted to install it, you could. Okay. It's pretty cool. We just set up Lutris, so that means we can go and open up Proton Plus again and install what we need for this if we have to, right? In a nutshell, this is meant for people like me who do constant recording and editing and things like that. But as I mentioned before, I grew out of this and I do my own thing now. Even though this is definitely pretty cool, I will be doing videos on this, and I will be doing a gaming video if I can get one done, and much more. But once again, never update using the Gnome Software Center or the Discover Center, and only ever use update system. Okay? So what I want to do is sort of jump you into further customization because I was asked to by somebody else. And we're going to do this by heading back into our extension manager right here, this guy, and we're going to disable dash to dock. I don't want to, we're going to go grab dash to panel. Okay. And it's going to merge the top with the bottom. And as you can see, now we have a panel and now it looks goofy. So if I go to dash panel settings, okay, you'll notice that you could do a lot. You can put it at the top, you can put it on the left, you could put it on the right, you can put it at the bottom. We're going to leave it at the bottom for now. And we can choose the panel thickness. Let's do 30. No, 32 is not good enough. Let's try that. That looks good. That's nice and clean there. What are you? Oh yeah, your arc menu. There's some things we want to hide. So show application button or activity button. Like, we can get rid of that. We can also disable this as well. And then we'd have to go into arc menu settings to make this button bigger, because this is your start menu, right? And we want that bigger. So in here, and you can change the size. There you go. You can also make it, instead of it, actually it comes right down to you. That's great. If you want to center this, make this look like Windows 11, you can. It's pretty easy to do. We're actually going to do that now, because I know some people are going to ask, where is this? Display on all monitors? No, I don't want that. That's just resources being taken up for no reason. Icon size, animated, hovering app icons. You know, you can do that. We can deal with the padding if we want it. So, like there, make that look neater. Indicators, positions, put that at the top, bottom. I honestly suggest using the dots if you can, because it looks a lot cleaner. Okay. You can also do gradients on the panel and pull a vista. You can override your panel desktop color, and you can make it purple, for example. So if we wanted to, I could make it this color. There we go. So now it blends in more. Behavior. See that? So you can choose whatever type of behavior you want. I'm not going to run through that because it's annoying. And you can change the way things cycle. This allows you to fine tune everything. So it's, yeah. You can also keep the original GNOME top panel. So if we click this, yeah, we get that. But most people aren't going to do that, so why are we? You get to choose your tray item panning, left box, so on, and yeah, there it is. It's pretty nifty nonetheless. And you really get to choose how things are done if you want. Just remember, customization is all up to you. It's what you learn and how you do things. Icon style, symbolic, animations, so it's pretty cool. I wanted to show this to you so you guys would know how to deal with things. Like, how to deal with having these 3 buttons enabled, and it's right there. Left, right. You can even go to appearance and deal with it being stretched. Do the wallpaper here. You can deal with your startup applications over here if you want any, if you're one of those people. What to deal with your windows and how they work, how they focus. Customizing Gnome is up to you. You can do it any way that you want. Customizing Gnome is endless. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It is endless, okay? It just all depends on what you know and how you know it and how you get it to work. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. I do tons of Linux content, and I'll see you guys next time. And as you saw, you can find this wallpaper in my Discord. I use GNOME 46. I do videos on Plasma, but I'm not going to have any probably for a while. That one that I uploaded yesterday was just a one-off, and all videos go out to members early. So videos I'm making today, you'll probably see the next day. As you can see, it's the 12th. You'll probably see these on the 13th, but members will see them today. And I'm doing this because I made a promise, you know, people that sign up for membership get videos early. I'm not breaking that. Bye, everybody.